What is a reasonable and effective way to meet your dream Filipina? I think there are basically two options. Option number one, you can travel to the Philippines in person, and option number two is the online version where you meet or try to find a Filipina online. But for both of these options, there are obviously pros and cons. So for example, if you travel in person to the Philippines, boots on the ground, which is actually a good thing, the pro definitely is that you can right away meet Filipinas in person, and you probably also have a greater variety of women available. Yeah, the cons are definitely, if you decide to travel, the cost involved, planning is involved. You need time, right? At least 3 or 4 weeks, I suggest, for your first time visit to the Philippines. And then also you don't really know which place to start, right? And that can be the case. Although there is plenty of good information out there now these days, mostly on YouTube also, or on other blog posts. Or perhaps you are just too shy to talk to women or approach women, cold approach Filipinas in the streets or restaurants or malls. Or perhaps you're even handicapped, So these would be some cons which would make you not to consider to travel right away to the Philippines. So the other option is the online dating. Yeah, and online dating obviously also has some pros and some cons. The pros of online dating are definitely it's very easy. It's very comfortable. It's way cheaper than traveling. You basically just have to sign up on some site and then start chatting, right? But the cons of dating sites, or some dating sites, as I know and hear also from many other people, is that there are apparently many scammers around, hookers, freelancers, prostitutes, gold diggers, you name it. And I think there is some truth to that, definitely. Now, the other day, or actually a while ago, I met Jessa and Michael, a very lovely couple. Jessa is a Filipina, she is from the Philippines, and Michael is an American guy. And they are married now for just over a year, I believe. Yeah, and I had a chance to talk to them. And I wanted to know how they got to know each other, or how did it happen, how was the process, and how did they end up happily married now in the United States. All I can tell you now here is they met online, and they used a specific dating service. Yeah. So more on that a little bit later. I just want to set the stage here. So Michael and Jessa, Michael is a little bit older, I believe. I didn't ask for the age, but I assume Michael is in his 40s and Jessa is in her 20s. So there's roughly an age gap of 20 years, which is very common and normal in the Philippines, or when Filipinos are dating Western guys, And I asked Michael, about how it all started, and he told me he never actually traveled to the Philippines before. So, but he heard good things about Filipinas, yeah, and Filipino people in general. So he said that Filipinos and also Filipinas, that's what he heard, are genuine, humble and hospitable people. And especially Filipinas, he said, or he was told, are looking for a long-term relationship. Yeah, and Michael had some experience with dating sites before. Yeah, so he used these sites, but His experience was rather negative because he told me that many of these girls, Filipinas, were ghosting him or asking for money, you know, the old story. And then also what he commented is if he needed support, there was an email available, yes, but sometimes he had to wait a very, very long time until somebody replies to his request or concern. Or sometimes there are just only chatbots available, and he was very annoyed by that. And I know, we all know now these days, you're dealing more and more with chatbots, not only on dating sites, and all kinds of other online services like when you want to book a flight, airline sites and stuff. You know, it's really, really annoying. I just had the other day, I had an inquiry with my bank, you know, and only chatbots available. You know, it's a, you know, it's a pain in the, you know what. So that was Michael's experience with the other dating sites, and so of course he got frustrated. It's very understandable, until he hit on this specific dating service I just mentioned already previously. So I asked him, Michael, tell me, what dating service have you used then? You know, and he told me he heard of Christian Filipina, this dating service. He heard some good things, and he switched and subscribed and became a member. And I also wanted to know, why did you stick with Christian Filipina, and what was your experience with this service? And he basically told me in a nutshell. He said, the girls, this is based on his own personal experience, obviously, but this is what he told me. He said, in a nutshell, Marcel, the girls on Christian Filipina, he found more serious. The girls, they are really into long-term commitment and genuine relationships, and this is what Michael was looking for. Yeah. He also said that Christian Filipina provides a real phone number where you can call and you talk to real people. That's one big difference to these other dating sites. And I can imagine this. If you have any concern, any question, and you get someone onto the line, you know, and you talk to real people, this is actually, then you start feeling, oh, this is a real service, you know. This is not just a place where you digitally meet, but there are some people who care, you know. So that was a statement. And he also said, you know, tech is good, but too much tech is not so good. And he is right, and referring to all these chatbots and stuff, you know. And he said, you know, sometimes the old-fashioned way, talking to a real person, is just much better. And he is right. I agree with him, you know. So now it was Jessa's turn. I also wanted to know from her why she actually was on this dating service, Christian Filipina. And he basically said she also had previous experience with other dating sites, and she said similar things like Michael said. Many disrespectful men, liars, abusers even, you know, verbally abusive, and many guys are asking for nude pictures, naked pictures and stuff like that. And the reason she likes Christian Filipina more is that she found that in general the guys she found on Christian Filipina or chatted or got to know are actually in general more nice, more honest, and they don't promise so much crap, you know, like some guys, they promise, oh, I'm gonna marry you, I bring you to my country, or I will come to the Philippines, I will marry you. You know, all these stories you hear from other girls. And this experience made her feel much safer. So I think this is one benefit Jessa really enjoyed, and that's why, and therefore in general, she found this Christian Filipina service, a better quality service, because also she feels that they care really much more about the members. And by the way, if you want to check out the website, the link is in the description, Christian Filipina, check it out and see if this is something for you, or you can even verify the statements here made by Michael and Jessa. So after this experience, they got to know each other, so obviously, but they clicked very well. And I think after only 1 month of chatting, Michael made the move to the Philippines. He visited Jessa for the first time, and then they kept in touch and chatting and messaging, video calling obviously. And then I think a year later he made his second trip, as far as I understood correctly. And then I think it was clear for both of them that this is something really serious, and both wanted to take the next step and proceed things further. And then it was the time when Michael, or both, basically knew that, yeah, they're going to get married. And then they already started to process the appropriate documents. By the way, Christian Filipina also helps with that, with all these legal matters and visas, and that's why they consider it a service and not just only a dating site. Michael and Jessa specifically pointed that out, because Christian Filipina is providing way more than just having an online platform where some sketchy characters can scam each other, you know. So but it's just what they mentioned, you know, I wanted to know. So, and obviously, yeah, there is no perfect place to find the perfect partner. And this is what Michael told me, and I agree with him. And he also said, you know, it's actually tough not only for women to find it's not only tough for a man to find a proper woman, in our case, a proper Filipina. It is also hard for the Filipinas to find a proper man, as Jessa pointed out. And this is so true, because I also used online dating before, and in different countries, also here in Southeast Asia. So I chatted with a lot of women, and I can also confirm this, and you may have had the same experience, that many girls also complain to me about other men they met, you know, that these guys are perverts and liars, and they're just asking for naked pictures, or even they show the girls some intimate section of their body. So really crazy stuff. Freaks, perverts, idiots, people who are not serious. You have to, so these women also have to deal with all this scum, all this garbage people, because, you know, I don't know what kind of sketchy characters are around, but a lot of them are around. So it is not only what we always hear mostly on YouTube and what you can read in the comment sections, you know, that only the girls are the scammers. You know, we all hear these stories, especially about the Filipinas. Oh, the Filipinas are the scammers. You know, and when you read these comments and watch these videos, you get the impression that the whole Philippines is just full of Filipina scammers and dishonest women, and the Philippines is a dangerous place. I think this is a distorted view of the things. As I pointed out already, there are likewise plenty of idiotic guys out there who scam the women as well. Yeah, lying and making false promises and whatnot. So I think it's well balanced, but nobody really talks about that, because these women barely step forward and talk about it on video. At least I have not come across a Filipina who publicly talked about this on her video. I'm pretty sure there are Filipinos out there who talked about it, but you know, I don't have time to check YouTube all day for these kind of videos. But you know, in general, I think the Filipinas are just too shy to talk about it, and it's understandable. You know, what to talk anyway? It's not worth mentioning maybe, so they feel a little bit shy. And yeah, typical story I just read the other day is another guy who wrote a very long comment in the comment sections, again complaining about a Filipina, how all these Filipinas, they're just asking for money at the end of the month. They want me to send money through Gcash and they never pay it back. And then the other Filipina I met, she offered her body for sex, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And then a few days later, I saw pictures of her on Facebook where she had celebrated a big party with lots of food and lechon, you know, the roasted pig. So he was confused about that. But these are these typical stories you hear. And I want to make this point also here in this video again. I've done this before, but I want to do it again. Because I am personally really sick and fed up with these boring stories. These guys who just come on YouTube doing either videos or writing their bollocks in the comment sections. I'm sick and tired of these boring stories, just blaming and whining around how they got scammed by these Filipinas or by other Asian women for that matter, for example, Thai women, okay? I don't accept this anymore. I mean, I also got scammed by Filipinas, I could say, yeah? And I've done videos about that, but there needs to be a point in time where you overcome this and develop a little bit further. And my point clearly is, you have to stop the blame game and whining around like a little child, yeah, and start to look inward, okay? You have to improve yourself. You have to improve your inner game. That's the real problem here. Because why did you get scammed in the first place anyway? Yeah, this is the hard question you have to ask yourself. And like I said, 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when I experienced these things, I also started to blame without thinking what was really the matter. And yeah, there are some really bad girls out there. They have really bad intentions, but there are also plenty of guys who have really, really cruel and bad intentions. Look around in the Philippines. You can spot these expats and Westerners who don't have their shit together or play all kind of fishy games. So it comes back to your own inner game. You have to do, of course, your due diligence. You know, you have to apply your common sense, and there is no guarantee for success in finding a good woman by applying all these things, your common sense, due diligence, you know, and maybe start looking at your own discerning and decision-making process, okay? But when you apply these things, you can at least reduce the risk. And this is what it's all about. It's about getting smarter and more intelligence to get more experience. Because by just blaming and whining around, you don't improve yourself and you don't improve the situation. You will just probably stumble from one incident to the next, you know. I mean, it's all okay. It happened also to me because maybe I was stupid, you know, to give this Filipina money she asked for, but I gave it to her. She didn't steal it from me. She didn't take it. She didn't rob it, you know. So I had all the right to be angry, okay. But this is this. How is this? What's the saying? Saying goes like, it's human to be angry, or it's human to get angry, but it's kind of insane to remain angry. Yeah, so this is something to think about. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video today. Especially the last point is very important. Yeah, get to work on yourself. Look into the mirror and see how you can, improve your thinking, because this is urgent. We all, including me and many guys, we need to start to improve our thinking. We need to improve our discernment and discernment and judgment. We need to improve this. And we need to improve our decision-making process. These three things, improving our thinking, how to discern properly, and to improve our decision-making process, that we need to work on. Yeah? And this is not only applying to dating Filipinas, this applies to any area in your life, be it finances, health, or other relationships, you know. We have to learn how to think properly first, yeah, in order to make the proper judgment and then come to a proper conclusion, so we can make the right decision, yeah. And when you go through that process, you automatically can probably eliminate a great deal of these so-called fishy Filipinas anyway. Yeah, that's my message here also in this video. So what's the best way to meet your dream Filipina? Yeah, you can travel to the Philippines in person, have a good time, or maybe you have also bad luck. This can happen, this is just life. Or if you want to play it way safer online, then based on Michael's and Jessa's statements here, which I presented in this video, then please click the link in the description and check out Christian Filipina. If this is something for you, especially if you are looking also for faith-based relationships, then as the name suggests, Christian Filipina is worth to be checked out, okay? And I'm checking out now here for today. Thanks for watching, thanks for your attention, and I'm looking forward to your comments and see what you have to say about this topic. And then I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care, bye bye.